Hello, my name is Jesse. This is the Auditorium. I react to video game music for the first time as a musician myself. Today's return of a Halo. This is Halo Reach. We're listening to Noble Actual from the Hosfurian, followed by Epilogue from Skill Tree Records, requested by Pixar Prime, resident Halo requester. One is apparently a kind of main mission, and then this one's like basically the end, which makes sense because it's called Epilogue. So, okay. Just a heads up, when it comes to Halo, I've said it before, it's a very interesting game to react to because it's a very huge series with a lot of big moments and a lot of fans, millions and millions of fans. But the music is it's hard to grasp to as someone who hasn't played it. So we'll see. I'll explain more later, but I think you guys know what I'm talking about. This is Noble Actual. I'm probably not going to talk too much because I just want to immerse myself as much as I can in 3 minutes. Let's go. A gong. Cool imagery with the planet or moon. Okay, it was different. Very different. It sounds kind of like it could be from a horror game. That's a little dissonant in the feel of it. Actually, some dynamics here. That got louder. It's reminding me of something. In all of my Halo history on this channel, all my history ever with Halo has been documented on this channel. From the very beginning, first couple seconds to now, outside of me playing a little bit with like high school friends, going to their houses and stuff like that. But most of it has been here, and it's been good. Don't get me wrong. If you're new, for example, and you don't know what I was talking about at the beginning, this is just kind of like a blanket statement when it comes to orchestral stuff. And this is a game I'm curious on, mind you, just because of its uh, prestige. So, I mean, long story short, it's kind of common sense. It's something that I always feel like I'm like walking on eggshells when I say it, but I shouldn't because I want to be honest, and I should be honest. But also, every time I do it, I get reminded like, yeah, most people agree with that. Like, you gotta play the game to understand it, duh. And that's quite literally every game here on this channel. Well, some more than others, Like, you can definitely get by on listening to, I don't know, Doom, for example. You don't, I mean, yeah, of course, play the game and stuff, which I haven't done either. But I'm saying you can definitely enjoy listening to Meat Hook on your own at the gym or something. You know what I mean? It's just a different thing. Music is not so black and white. It's quite complicated. And with Halo, I feel that 90% of what I've heard up until now, 90% has been this, cinematic experience. You got to play the game, and we're in this grand adventure, and it just works so well with the cutscene, the feeling of the grandiose of it all, and all that. But this time, I don't know what's happening, but this time we had a little bit of a conflict. The sound is different now. This is, I would say, I think maybe one of the most, if not the most, more powerful songs I've heard in Halo. It's very intense. It's got a drive to it. It's got percussion that is very, ready for battle. It's dun, 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 dun. It's priming you. It's like either it's happening or it's about to happen, and that's different. Like I said, I'm used to more of the. To me, Halo, and I'm promise I'm not trying to sound like mean about this. It's just because I haven't played the game. To me, I think of Halo as more of a movie than a video game. I know it sounds crazy, but I haven't played it. But you know what I mean? I know it's a game. I know it's one of the biggest multiplayer games in the world. Still, I know. Don't get me wrong. But my experience with it has just been very theatrical, and like I'm sitting in a cinema and I got like surround sound, just it's just playing like that. And from what I've heard of the story and what people have told me about the story, it's a really cool story that everyone should experience. And I do recall saying in the past that I would be down to not play Halo, but I think I'd be down to like see playthroughs of Halo, like just witness the story at least once before I perish, that kind of thing. I think Halo has more than deserved its right to have everyone experience it at least once. I think we could all agree with that. That's what I seem to be reading. Anyways, what I'm saying is this song is very different, and that's good. Different is amazing, because my favorite soundtracks, the things I just prefer in general is variety, spice of life, and changing things up. So basically, I feel like I know what to expect when I'm going to hear a Halo video, which to some maybe that's good. To me, I would see that actually as more of a negative, but it just depends on the game and it depends on the context. I like to be surprised. I like to like this one. This surprised me. So if that wasn't clear. Okay, and if you're wondering why I'm like yapping so much about this kind of stuff, it's because these are very passionate people that watch these. This requester is a huge Halo fan. Huge, and I'm not just trying to say things to like, butter them up, or I'm just being honest. You're experiencing, basically you're experiencing someone who has missed out on so many key what's the word I'm looking for? Like pop culture events. I have not done so many things that people have done. So you're watching someone experience Halo through here. I have like no experience basically with Star Wars, with any movie you can imagine that's like, huge, like I don't know, Fight Club all these names that I've always kind of just like sheltered life and just learned my guitar and just kind of stuck to myself. I missed out on a lot. So this is how I'm treating that, and that's my story with Halo. At the end of the day, I'm always going to be honest. But that was cool. I like the way that made me feel. It made me feel something else. This is interesting, actually, because this is, I think, the second Halo song that has to do with an ending. I could be wrong about that. But this is Epilogue. Halo Reach. By the way, everything I've just been saying, don't let that disregard it. The soundtrack sounds amazing. The quality's there. There's no denying that. It's just what it does to me, particularly. Big difference if I were to call something bad. Which is not. This is Epilogue from Halo Reach. Oh, damn, I love the piano. I'm not going to talk in this one. I'll tell you why after. This one's gonna be tough to talk about. I knew as soon as it started, this was gonna be a challenge. Not too long ago, I did a video for VGM Vibes where it was the credits themes. A whole video dedicated to just credits themes, and I'm pretty sure Halo was even featured in that. I'm like 90% sure. And when I do those episodes, I really engross myself in that vibe. You know, I listen to those songs over and over. I try to put myself in those situations because a lot of times I haven't played those games, right? VGM Vibes is a lot of user submissions. So I try to put myself there. I'm like, okay, well, this is playing here in this area. Let me. So for credits themes, you know, that was a kind of a longer video, I think. How long? I don't even remember, but I noticed when I did that video, I was like, there's kind of a pattern with credit themes, and kind of not. It's weird. It kind of lives in two. What's the term? Like a Venn diagram, right? It's like that. Like on one hand, I think most people can tell, like most musically adept people can tell, they can probably tell apart the credits theme from the rest of the soundtrack, most likely. There's like this just feel to it. It's lighter, it's calmer, sadder. The journey's end is over. That's one half. The other half is, it could be whatever. That's what's weird about credits themes to me, is like, it can live in two spaces where I've heard credits themes that sound like, not only not like the rest of the soundtrack, but it doesn't even sound like it's from the same game. It'll be like some completely random thing, like a random guest spot, just something. You know, it's a very bizarre area of music in games and movies. You know, and in movies it's even more weird because like they gotta, well, I guess games do it too, where they'll have like an original song made for that section, or they'll like just use a famous song, you know. With this one, the whole time I was thinking like, wow, I have nothing to say. It's just such a moment that I don't want to even like, I don't want to take away from it. I feel like if I say anything about this song, it'll dilute it. Because I know it's powerful. I can hear its power. And yet, it does like nothing to me because I didn't play the game. So it's just kind of this odd. You know, I've been doing this now for a little over 4 years. And I've noticed a lot of things. I've learned a lot of things, different games, different soundtracks, different composers, different feels, different vibes, different blah, blah, blah. Video game music is so much more than just, you know, whatever surface level is. It is deep. And there's times where I just don't know what to say, or I don't know how to approach it. I don't know how to say anything. All I'm going to say is, I'd rather, you know, I'll say this though. Just in the general essence of being kind, I just liked it. That's it. You know, I liked it. It sounded nice. And at the very, very end of the song, it sounded like a little bit of what this image looks like, where it sounded kind of like a dawn was rising. You know? So it sounded like a little bit of hopeful there at the end. But, you know, I don't really have any comments as far as melody, music, or anything. It sounds like a lot of other songs, so that's why. But, you know, some people can take that negatively. I'd rather just take the high road, and I just liked it. But I'd much rather hear what everyone has to say, because they have connections to this exact song, because they probably spent hundreds of hours getting to this song, and that song has a huge payoff, and that I can at least hear that. Musically though, yeah, I think you guys understand though. Halo is a tough game for me to react to. I'm not gonna lie, it really is. It's a humongous IP with millions of fans, and I just have no connection with it. Mostly, not all the time. Strange, isn't it? First song was cool. That was Epilogue from Halo Reach. Let me know if you survived the yapping, because I know a lot of people don't want to stick around and not hear nothing but praise and echo chamber. This is not an echo chamber, if you haven't found that out by now, but I am curious though. Again, before I get out of here, I don't dislike it. I just have no connection with it. Thank you to the requesters. Thanks to everyone you see on screen. I couldn't be here without them. I will see you later. My name is Jesse in the auditorium later.